Howdy, folks. It's Jack again, back here with Finton. He's a 2.5-year-old gypsy vanner, and he came in a couple days ago and just kind of settling in, and we're going to go through some accept the human, accept the saddle with him, get him started going under saddle. The goal is to get him prepared in a couple months to take him to a gypsy show, and he's just going to do a trail in hand class there, but we're getting him going to get him started under saddle. So what I like to do starting off with in accepting the human, and accepting the human is just part of 4 stages in colt starting, and those 4 stages are accepting the human, accepting the saddle, accepting the rider, and then eventually accepting the bit. And most of this is just about getting the horse to be able to handle human interaction. And Finton's a pretty laid back, easygoing. The owner's actually has had the saddle on him, a number of times before. So he's pretty good about human interaction. His biggest thing is he's actually a little bit pushy. He kind of gets into your space. So we have to teach him, and using the 3 communications of rhythmic motion, steady pressure, and rhythmic pressure to show him where his boundaries are. So rhythmic motion's just motion without intent. Steady pressure is a steady feel, asking your horse to move off of that feel. And then rhythmic pressure is pressure with an intent, and that is using a rhythm with some intent. Let's say I want him to back up, and so I just get a picture in my mind of what it is I want. Then I back that picture up with the energy of my body, and then use my tool, and whatever I'm asking, I'm going to use that tool appropriate for the thing I'm asking. And right now I was just asking him to back up because he likes the crowd. So those, just in a nutshell, that's the basic three ways to communicate with your horse. Now, accepting the human is I want to get to where I can touch and rub him all over his body. So I'm taking my hand, getting him to be able to handle me touching him, and doing that from one side to the other side. See how I'm just rubbing on his body, getting him to be able to handle that. Like I say, he's pretty okay with that, and don't really want him going anywhere. And then I'm going to start coming in with my body. Can I rub him with my body from one side to the other side? And he's actually going, no, I'll just move around a little bit. And he's a little bit pushing on me, so I'm creating a little rhythm with my knee, saying, move off of me. And see how he got a little annoyed. He was saying, move off of. He was telling me to move off of him. And so I'm just staying with him, saying, move off of me. Move off of me. And he's more backing up than moving off. There was a little try. So he's just kind of testing me to say, hey, can I push you around? Because he's like, I'm the dominant horse in here, not you. And I just kind of stuck with it. Don't get real big, but just say, hey, no, I'm not moving out of my space. And here he's trying to nip me, so I'm going to get a little rhythm with my leg if he swings around. So what I'm going to do is actually move his feet some, because he's saying he doesn't really want me to be rubbing on him. It's not that he is fearful about it at all. He was just kind of going, no, I don't like that. I don't want you doing that. So I'm just going to move his feet a bit until he's ready for me to go up and rub on him. So can I get him to back up? Can I move the front end over? Ask him to move out. Because he's a pretty dominant personality of, he's kind of like, this is the way I like to do things. And, he's coming into the human world now, and we're asking more and more of him, so he's kind of like, okay, I don't really want to go with that. And we're just helping him find that it's okay for me to come in and touch and rub on you. And that was pretty nice. He wasn't reaching around trying to nip me as much. There. That was a little better. So I'm getting to where I can go from side to side, rubbing on him, and then now I'm going to start hopping up and down. And rub down his hind end. Rub on this side. And now he wants to leave, so I'm actually going to ask him to move. So the idea is to say, okay, if you want to move your feet, then this is where I want your feet to go. So I used a little rhythmic pressure there, had an intent of saying move your hind end around, and then I'm like, okay, now let's quit, let's just stand. And that was good. And then I'll go back to hopping up and down. Now, as you can see, as I go from right to left, I have my lead rope folded in half, and I always throw it over the horse's neck and slightly bend his neck to me, and then I grab a hold of the mane here. I throw the rope over, grab a hold of the mane, and there I actually got to where I could jump up on him a little bit. So I'm just slowly progressing this farther and farther. I throw the rope over, grab a hold of the mane, that's my anchor hand, hop up and down to eventually just setting on him. What I want him to do is find his feet there. Good, and then I come down. Now, if he would have started moving more, I would have just slid off and started over again. But he was just kind of finding his feet. He was a little annoyed at me, and I just stayed with him until he quit. But if he were to go off quickly, then I'd just slide off and set it up again. Hopping up and down, waving my legs around just to keep him from nipping me. Now I'm swinging him back and forth, rubbing on him until he stands quietly, come down, let him have that. See, he just is real mouthy, wanting to nip and bite and say, no, no, no. I'm hopping up and down again. And there, I'm just sliding off, saying, okay, move your feet. Make sure you get that anchor hand planted there. And so I'm hopping up and down, get to where I can jump and lay on him. And this is much nicer. He's actually standing pretty quiet, rocking back and forth, come down, rub my hand down his leg, and then go on to the other side. anchor hand, hop up and down, swing back and forth, and as he gets more and more comfortable, see how I can get to where I can lay on him. But my anchor hand's still there, and then I slide off. Up and down, slide back and forth to where I'm laying on him. And this just gets to where he feels me all over, and where it's no big deal. It's pretty nice. Now I'm going to move him a little bit and go back into it again. Because can I take him someplace else and get him to handle it here? So I'm just swinging, get a little more rhythm in, and he's just having to find his balance here a little bit moving. Swing all the way up to where I'm laying on him. That's pretty nice. Come around to the other side. Now I'm going up, just bringing my knee up on him, and then all I have to do is rotate my hip and roll my leg over. So it goes from just laying on him to, I'll do it again on the other side. So I've laid across him a number of times. He's okay with that. So now I'm just going to hop up and down. See, on this side, he's always moves a little bit more on this. And I go up, and there he wants to move. So I'm like, okay, move your hind end around. Can you back up a little bit? And now can you stand still? So my energy comes down, he should come down with me. And then I go back into it again. All the way up. Bring my knee up. I still have my anchor hand there. And then all I do is rotate my hip around. Get to where I'm sitting on him, swing my legs. And still have my hand attached to his mane, so at any point, if he were to go, I can just swing right off. So that's accepting the human. For, a horse like this here, every horse is a little bit different. Finton's just more about, he gets annoyed with things other than being afraid. And so it's just getting him to overcome that and, help him out with that there. So appreciate your time. See you next time.